sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time we're going all in on Super Bowl LIX.
Buckle up.
Yeah, because this one was one for the books. I'm talking the Kansas City Chiefs, the clear favorites, right?
Oh, yeah.
With Patrick Mahomes leading the charge, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, led by their quarterback Jalen Hurts, who, you know, a lot of people considered him the underdog in this situation.
Definitely an underdog story going into it.
Yeah, and everybody, all the analysts, all the predictions, everyone was saying Chiefs are going to blow them out.
Yeah.
What we get?
Total upset.
Eagles victory.
Eagles victory, yeah.
Shocked everybody.
Yeah, those pregame predictions were way off. I mean, the Eagles dismantled the Chiefs 40-22.
It really makes you think, like, how much can you actually predict in this sport?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So what happened? How did the Eagles pull this off? This is a team that, like, I don't even think a lot of analysts had in the top 5.
You know, their defense was the real star of the show. They had a plan, and they executed it flawlessly. It's like, think about it this way. They knew Mahomes was known for those incredible, like, off-script plays.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So they decided, we're going to contain him. We're going to force him to play within the pocket, something he's not as comfortable with.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, Mahomes, he thrives on that improvisation, right?
Really?
That's his thing. So by taking that away, they essentially neutralized his biggest strength.
Exactly. It wasn't just containing him, though. They were, like, relentlessly pressuring him. 6 sacks.
Whoa.
That's a career high for Mahomes. They were, like, in his face all game, forcing him to rush throws, make decisions he wouldn't normally make.
You know, watching the game, I don't know about you, but I kept thinking, like, Mahomes just looks different, like almost rattled. Am I seeing things? Or?
No, I felt the same way. Even, like, seasoned commentators like Dan Orlovsky was pointing out how unsettled he sounded, you know, comparing it to his Super Bowl LV loss against Tampa Bay.
Oh, interesting.
It's like they got in his head.
Wow.
Which you don't see often. 6
sacks, a visibly shaken Mahomes. It sounds like the Chiefs never stood a chance. But even with Mahomes, you know, under all this pressure, they still, I mean, their offense is nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
You've got Travis Kelce, you know, Andy Reid calling the plays. I mean, how?
Here's the thing. The Eagles' defensive dominance went beyond just Mahomes.
Okay.
Their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, had this scheme.
Okay.
It was specifically designed to counter the Chiefs' strengths. They mixed up coverages, disguised blitzes. They just kept the Chiefs guessing all game long. Even Andy Reid, you know, with all his experience, play calling brilliance, couldn't figure it out.
Sounds like Gannon was playing chess while Reid was playing checkers.
That's a great way to put it. I mean, he outmaneuvered one of the best offensive minds in the game. It was a coaching clinic.
Right.
And the players executed his vision perfectly.
Yep. So, all right, Eagles defense, all the credit in the world, deserves it. But you got to score points to win the Super Bowl. So how'd the Eagles offense do? Especially going up against that Chiefs defense, which, I mean, come on.
Well, it wasn't the offensive fireworks show everyone expected.
You're right.
But they played smart. They capitalized on the Chiefs' mistakes.
Okay.
And Jalen Hurts was the key.
Okay.
You know, he didn't have to be flashy. He didn't have to, like, make these highlight reel plays. He just made smart decisions through accurate passes, and he even, you know, ran the ball effectively when he needed to.
So more controlled strategic performance from Hurts rather than relying on that pure athleticism to make the big plays.
Yeah. He played within the system, trusted his teammates, and he took what the Chiefs' defense gave him. It was a mature performance that showed his growth as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And it reminded everyone that you don't need to be a superstar to win a Super Bowl. Sometimes making the right decisions and executing the game plan is all you need.
Hold on. The Eagles also had Saquon Barkley. I mean, going into this, I thought he was going to be a huge part of their offensive strategy.
That's where it gets interesting. Barkley actually had his worst rushing performance of the season.
Really?
Yeah. His longest run was only 9 yards.
Wait. So their star running back is basically shut down and they still win. How is that even possible?
It's a testament to their depth and their adaptability.
Okay.
They weren't reliant on one player to carry the load. Their coaching staff had a system in place that allowed other players to step up when needed.
So tell me more about this system. Who stepped up?
Well, Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott both had some crucial runs. You know, keeping the Chiefs' defense honest, opening up passing lanes for Hurts. And on the receiving end, Devonta Smith had a couple big catches, including a touchdown, really showed that he can be a true #1 receiver in this league.
Okay, so it wasn't just like the defense winning this game for the Eagles. Their offense, even though they were facing challenges, they were still able to contribute significantly to that victory. But there's one thing I'm still curious about.
What's that?
You mentioned how the Eagles defense was able to kind of shut down Mahomes by forcing him to play within the pocket, right?
Right.
But they also had to deal with Travis Kelce.
Right.
I mean, arguably the best tight end in the league. How'd they manage to contain him as well?
That's a great question, and it's something we need to delve into further.
Yeah.
The Eagles definitely had a plan for Kelce, and it involved the combination of...
So you were about to tell me how the Eagles managed to handle Travis Kelce. I mean, the guy is a touchdown machine. How do you even begin to game plan for someone like that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kelce, he's a matchup nightmare for any defense. But the Eagles took a multifaceted approach, you know.
Right.
They used a mix of man and zone coverage. They often they would bracket him with a safety over the top.
Bracketing. Break that down for me a little bit.
Sure. So imagine two defenders essentially forming a bracket around Kelce.
Okay.
One defender, usually a linebacker or a safety, would cover him underneath, while another defender, usually a safety, would be positioned deeper, ready to pick up Kelce if he tries to run a deeper route.
Gotcha.
So they're essentially limiting his options, making it much harder for Mahomes to connect with him for those big chunk plays that they're known for.
So it's not just one guy assigned to cover Kelce. It's more of a team effort, with different defenders taking turns trying to disrupt his routes and limit his effectiveness.
Precisely. And they also mix things up constantly. They didn't want Mahomes to get into a rhythm where he knew exactly where Kelce would be and how he'd be covered.
Right, right.
Keep him guessing. Disrupt the timing of their passing game.
It's amazing how much strategy goes into every aspect of this game.
It really is.
It really is. It's like a giant chess match with both teams constantly trying to outmaneuver each other.
Absolutely. And in this case, the Eagles coaching staff really did their homework.
Yeah.
Came prepared with a game plan that was perfectly tailored to neutralize the Chiefs' biggest threats.
Mahomes and Kelce.
Mahomes and Kelce.
So, all right. The Eagles neutralized Mahomes. They contained Kelce. Their offense, though not explosive, played smart, efficient football. Is that basically the story of how they won this Super Bowl?
That's a big part of it, yeah. But there's another element that we haven't discussed yet.
Okay.
The Eagles didn't just win this game because they played well. They won it because they played with an incredible amount of heart and determination.
Yeah. I remember seeing the look on their faces, especially Jalen Hurts. They seemed so focused, so determined. It was like they knew they could win even though everyone else was doubting them.
Exactly. They had this underdog mentality, chip on their shoulder. They embraced the fact that nobody gave them a chance.
Yeah.
And they used it as fuel to prove everyone wrong.
It's funny how sometimes being the underdog can actually be an advantage. It kind of takes the pressure off, allows you to play with more freedom and passion.
You're right. I mean, they were loose, they were aggressive, and they played with a level of joy that was infectious.
Yeah.
Seemed to be having fun out there. And that energy, it translated into their performance.
And it's funny you should say that, because the Chiefs, on the other hand, they seemed almost tense, almost burdened by the weight of expectations.
Yeah, that's a great observation.
Yeah.
You know, they were the favorites. They were expected to win. And sometimes that pressure, it can be a heavy burden to carry. It can make you play tight, make you second guess yourself, and ultimately lead to mistakes.
And mistakes are exactly what cost the Chiefs this game.
Yeah.
They had 2 crucial interceptions, including a pick six.
Right.
And they also had several dropped passes, including one by DeAndre Hopkins that could have changed the momentum of the game.
Right. I mean, those mistakes, they were uncharacteristic of a team like the Chiefs, especially a team led by Patrick Mahomes. But again, it goes back to that pressure.
Right.
The pressure of being the favorites, the pressure of living up to their own high standards.
It's interesting how those expectations can really affect a team's performance. Sometimes the team with nothing to lose plays with more freedom and ends up exceeding everyone's expectations.
It's the beauty of sports.
Yeah.
You know, that unpredictable nature of it all reminds us that anything is possible. Upsets can happen.
Yeah.
And even the best teams can be vulnerable on any given day.
This deep dive's been so insightful. It's made me realize there's so much more to a game than just the final score. There's strategy, coaching, psychology, even a bit of luck involved.
I agree. It's about understanding the nuances.
Yeah.
The little things that often go unnoticed but can have a huge impact on the outcome of a game. And in this case, the Eagles were the team that understood those nuances better than anyone.
But let's go back to the Eagles' offense for a moment. You mentioned earlier that Jalen Hurts didn't have to play like Superman to win this game.
Right.
But didn't he also set a Super Bowl record for rushing yards by a quarterback?
You're absolutely right. He did. And that's what makes his performance even more impressive. He was able to balance that, dual threat ability, knowing when to run, when to stay in the pocket and make throws. He didn't force anything. He just took what the defense gave him, and he did it with incredible efficiency.
So it wasn't just about making the right decisions. It was also about his execution, his ability to make those crucial plays when they mattered most.
Exactly. He made several key throws, including some on third downs, that kept drives alive and ultimately led to points. And, when he needed to run, he ran with purpose, picking up first downs, keeping the Chiefs' defense on their toes.
So it really sounds like this Super Bowl performance really showcased his growth as a quarterback.
Absolutely.
His ability to lead a team and make the big plays when it counts.
Absolutely. It raises an interesting question, though.
Okay.
Where does Jalen Hurts go from here?
Yeah.
He's already a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next for him?
That's a question for another deep dive, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah.
But for now, let's focus on what we've learned from this Super Bowl.
Right.
It was a game that defied expectations, a game that showed us the importance of coaching, strategy, and the unpredictable nature of sports.
And it was a game that gave us a new hero, a player who defied the odds and achieved the seemingly impossible. I'm talking, of course, about Jordan Mailata.
Ah, yes, Jordan Mailata, the Australian rugby player turned Super Bowl champion, left tackle.
Left tackle, that's right. I mean, his story is truly remarkable. From playing rugby in Australia to protecting the blind side of a Super Bowl MVP, in just a few years. It's a testament to his hard work, his dedication, and the belief that anything is possible if you set your mind to it.
But his story is also about more than just, individual achievement. It's about the Eagles organization as a whole. Their willingness to take a chance on a player from a non-traditional background and their commitment to developing his talent.
It speaks volumes about their scouting, their coaching, the culture they've built within their organization. They saw something special in Mailata, even though he had never played a snap of American football. And they nurture that talent into a Super Bowl champion.
And let's not forget about the role of Jeff Stoutland, the Eagles' offensive line coach.
Coach Stout.
Coach Stout, known for his ability to develop raw talent into elite players. His nickname is a testament to his tough love approach, but his players, they swear by him.
They do.
It's amazing to think that just a few years ago, Mailata was playing rugby in Australia, and now he's a Super Bowl champion.
It's incredible.
A testament to the power of hard work, good coaching, and a little bit of luck.
Absolutely. It's a story that should inspire anyone, regardless of their background or experience. Shows that with the right mindset and the willingness to embrace challenges, anything is possible.
But let's not get too carried away with the feel-good story here. We still have a lot to unpack about this Super Bowl, especially the Eagles' defensive strategy.
Right.
How did they manage to completely shut down one of the most explosive offenses in the league?
That's a great point. We've touched on their game plan for Mahomes and Kelce.
Right.
But there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah.
We need to delve into the specifics, the tactical decisions that allowed them to dominate the line of scrimmage and stifle the Chiefs' offensive flow.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's break down the X's and O's of the Eagles' defensive masterpiece.
Right. Let's rewind to that second quarter when the Eagles started to really assert their dominance.
Okay, so second quarter, Eagles are already up by a touchdown. But come on, it's the Chiefs. Mahomes at the helm. They're always a threat.
Right.
So what happened?
Well, you could almost feel the momentum shifting, The Chiefs were driving, looking to tie the game. And then, boom, back-to-back sacks on Mahomes.
Wow.
The Eagles' defensive line they overwhelmed the Chiefs' offensive line, forcing Mahomes into those hurried throws we talked about earlier.
And those sacks, it wasn't just like individual effort, right? It seemed like there was something special about the Eagles' defensive scheme that was allowing them to generate so much pressure.
Absolutely. The Eagles, they were using a variety of stunts and blitzes, confusing the Chiefs' offensive line, creating these one-on-one matchups that favored their pass rushers.
Stunts and blitzes. Break those down for me, for those of us who aren't, the football expert.
Sure. So a stunt is basically when two defensive linemen switch their rushing lanes.
Okay.
Trying to catch the offensive lineman off guard. A little bit of trickery to disrupt the blocking assignments. And a blitz is when you send extra defenders, usually linebackers or safeties, to rush the quarterback, hoping to overwhelm the offensive line and force a quick throw.
So they were mixing things up, keeping the Chiefs guessing, and that created those opportunities for sacks and pressure on Mahomes.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about the sacks. Even when they didn't get to Mahomes, they were constantly in his face, forcing him to move around in the pocket, disrupting his rhythm, affecting his accuracy. Remember, Mahomes, he's known for his ability to extend plays, to make those incredible throws on the run. But the Eagles didn't give him any space to operate.
So it wasn't just about shutting down his passing game. It was about taking away his ability to improvise, to create those magical moments that we've all come to expect from him.
Yeah, they took away his superpower, essentially.
And then the turning point of the game, the play that really sealed the Chiefs' fate.
You talking about the pick six?
The one and only. Mahomes, under pressure again, throws a pass. It's intercepted by Eagles rookie cornerback Cooper DeJean, who takes it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, talk about a momentum swing.
Oh, man. That play was a microcosm of the entire game. The Eagles' defense, relentless. They force Mahomes into a bad decision, and then they capitalize on the mistake. It's a textbook example of how to create turnovers and swing the momentum of a game.
And the Chiefs never really recovered from that, did they?
No. They didn't. I mean, they had a few moments, where it looked like they might mount a comeback. But the Eagles' defense, they always seemed to have an answer. They were just too disciplined, too well prepared, and too determined to let the Chiefs back into the game.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. It's made me appreciate just the complexity of this game, the strategic battles that happen on literally every play.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the highlights.
Yeah.
The big plays.
Yeah.
But it's all for the little things, the subtle adjustments, the coaching decisions that make the difference between winning and losing. And in this case, the Eagles were the team that did all the little things right.
And it's not just about the X's and O's. It's also about, the human element, the stories behind the players and the coaches, the organizations.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
His journey to the Super Bowl is an inspiration. It's proof that hard work, dedication, a little bit of luck can take you places you never thought possible.
And it's not just his story. It's the story of the Eagles organization.
Right.
Their willingness to think outside the box, to take a chance on a player with no prior football experience.
Right. And it's the story of Coach Stowlin, too, the offensive line guru who saw something special in this kid and helped him develop into one of the best left tackles in the league.
So, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive here, I can't help but think about, what this Super Bowl win means for the Eagles, for Jalen Hurts, for Jordan Mailata, for the city of Philadelphia. It's a moment they'll never forget, a moment that'll be forever etched in their memories.
Yeah. It's a moment that proves that underdogs can rise to the top, that dreams can come true, and that anything is possible if you have the courage to believe in yourself and the determination to never give up.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to put it, and a perfect way to end our deep dive into Super Bowl LIX. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. We hope you enjoyed learning as much as we have.
And remember, there's always more to discover, more to explore, and more to learn. Keep asking questions, keep seeking knowledge, and keep diving deep into the things that fascinate you.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have the ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're Bobby doll. Show them